Hi guys, and yes, I'm back with a boxing prediction video. So yes, this weekend we have got quite a big fight in the world of boxing, influencer boxing, celebrity boxing, whatever you want to call it. Yes, we have Jake Paul going up against Tommy Fury. Yes, taking place in Saudi Arabia. So this is a fight that I think we've all wanted to see now for quite a while. And I thought this fight was never going to happen. This is the third time now they've arranged a fight because they had two previous fights scheduled. The first time it got cancelled at the last minute because Tommy Fury, I think, legit hurt himself in a training, pulled a muscle, or broke a bone, so he had to pull out. And Jake Paul fought Tyron Woodley again. The second time, Tommy Fury, couldn't get to America, so it got cancelled again. But now here we are, finally, 2023, February. It's happening for the third time, and hopefully, finally, just make this fight happen. No pullouts, but yeah, it's going to happen, I think, now, by this point. And yeah, there was a bit of buzz, a bit of excitement for this fight, because Jake Paul is finally fighting a boxer, with a winning record. He's not fighting an MMA star. He's not fighting a wrestler. No, he's fighting an actual boxer in Tommy Fury. And Tommy Fury too, this is a big challenge for him, some would say, because both men are at similar ages, similar experience, similar path in their career. They're both novices. But it's going to be interesting, man. Very interesting. So I'm just going to go over both guys, both previous fights and etc., and who I think's got the advantage and who I think will happen. So I'm going to start off with Tommy Fury. So yeah, most of us know who he is by now. Yeah, he's Tyson Fury's younger half brother. He's 6 foot. He's 23. I don't know why I said 6 foot. I was going over the tail of the tape. I'll do that later. But yeah, he's 23 years old. He's a little bit younger than Jake Paul. He's 8-0. He has 4 knockouts. And yeah, the guy can box. He's definitely no Tyron Woodley or no Ben Askren. The guy can box, and I think he does pose Jake Paul's maybe biggest threat. Yes, although some would say Anderson Silva was Jake Paul's biggest threat, but Anderson Silva, as good as he was in his late 40s. Tommy Fury's in his early 20s, so Tommy Fury's going to have much more energy and a much better gas tank. Although that being said, Anderson Silva had a great gas tank, so yeah. So did I say Tyron Woodley? I meant Anderson Silva for Jake Paul's last fight. And there's a lot of pressure on Tommy Fury in this fight because I think he is the favourite because he is the boxer, while Jake Paul's this influencer, YouTuber boxer, etc., etc. Even though I think it's a very bad move to not take Jake seriously. But like John Fury, he's like, oh, Jake Paul's rubbish. He's absolutely terrible. Tommy will beat you inside 4 rounds. He can knock him spark out and all that. But Tyson Fury, who's now been involved in this fight a little bit, he said it's an interesting fight. It's even. Someone's O's got to go, etc. But I think all the pressure is on Tommy because he's expected to win this because of his older brother Tyson Fury. I think just because of that Fury name, and if Tommy loses to the YouTuber Jake Paul, it's going to be a bit embarrassing for him, and this could be the end of his professional boxing career. Because where does he go after losing to Jake Paul? Where does he go? So it's a lot of pressure is on Tommy Fury to win this fight because it'll be terrible for him if he loses, and it'll be a big embarrassment. And I think Tyson and John will be very disappointed in him if he doesn't win this fight against Jake Paul. And people are saying Tommy should win this. He should win this. This is an easy fight for Tommy Fury to prove he's a serious professional boxer. And yeah, like I said, he is 8-0 with 4 knockouts. But Tommy Fury hasn't really tested himself yet. He's basically fought boxing jobbers. Out of the 8 boxers he's beaten, only 2 of them had winning records. The other 6 had like massive losing records and were just, like I say, boxing jobbers. And he hasn't really tested himself yet because everyone Tommy's been put in there to fight has just basically went in there to lose and make Tommy look good. So he hasn't really been tested yet, Tommy Fury. I don't think he's going to be taken. I don't think he hasn't been taken where I think Jake Paul will try and take him for this fight. And when you look at Tommy Fury, he's got a bit of an arrogant demeanour. about this fight. Like, he's not taking Jake seriously. He's like, he's a YouTuber. He's an idiot. I'm going to knock him spark out inside 4 or 5 rounds. It's easy night's work. It's easy money. And like, but yeah, Tommy Fury, you're the one who pulled out twice, mate. Yeah, because of reasons. And the only reason, I think Tommy knows this is a big money fight for him. It's a massive paycheck. I think he's getting like $2 million for this fight, Tommy Fury. So it's a big paycheck for him. And more money than he's ever made in any of his previous fights. So it's a big paycheck for him. It's a lot of clout for him too, going up against Jake Paul. So yeah. So we're going to see what Tommy Fury's made of in this fight. Will he crumble under the pressure of everyone expecting him to win? And will Jake Paul feed into that? And will it be a devastating loss for Tommy Fury? We'll see. Then moving on to Jake Paul. So there's not a lot to say about Jake Paul. We all know Jake Paul by now in his boxing career. I've covered all of his previous boxing fights with Tyron Woodley, Ben Askren, Anderson Silva last year. So yeah, he's 6-0 with 4 KOs. 26 years old. He's a little bit older than Tommy, but it's only 3 years. Not a huge difference. And yeah, there's not. This is great for Jake, really, because I don't think the pressure's really on him that much. The pressure's all on Tommy to win here, but Jake, this is a big fight for him because, like I said, he's fighting a professional boxer for the first time with a record, and someone his age too. Well, in the similar age, similar experience. They're both novice pros, whereas he's not fighting a 48-year-old Anderson Silva. He's not fighting a 39-year-old Tyron Woodley. He's fighting someone his age. Similar height, similar reach, similar weight, similar experience. That's what makes this exciting with Tommy Fury. So it's a big test for Jake Paul too, I think. Yeah, and I think if Jake Paul does convincingly beat Tommy Fury, then I think we definitely have to start taking him seriously. I know I said that after he beat Anderson Silva, but like I said, Anderson Silva was good, but he was in his late 40s. But I think this is a big test for him. And I think if he does beat Tommy Fury, I think he actually becomes an official ranked boxer on the cruiserweight list for Jake Paul. So it's a big fight for him. But if Jake Paul does lose, I don't think it's a massive loss for him because yeah, it'll be his first loss. But I think there'll be a rematch clause in there, so he'll be able to get a rematch, and Jake can just take a few months off and come back in. But if Tommy loses, it's huge for him. Yeah. So Jake Paul's last fight was an impressive unanimous decision victory over Anderson Silva. It went the full 8 rounds, but it was a fun fight to watch, and he did drop Anderson Silva in the final round, I think, but it was a fun fight to watch, definitely. And Jake Paul, he went through a war with Anderson, an 8-round war with Anderson Silva, and it was a fun fight to watch, definitely. So yeah, now I'm just going to go over the tail of the tape and then go over my analysis on both fighters, then who I think will win. So the tail of the tape, yeah, Jake's 6'1", Tommy's 6 foot. Jake Paul's 26, Tommy's 23. Jake Paul has a 76-inch reach. Tommy Fury has an 80-inch reach. So Tommy Fury does have a bit of reach, an advantage on the reach. Both men are similar weights at about 180-ish pounds. And I've already gone over their records. Jake Paul's 6-0. Tommy Fury's 8-0. So yeah, when I watched True Geordie's prediction video for this fight, and I've watched his analysis, and I agree with a lot of the things. So I looked back on both fights, both previous guys' fights. So I do agree. I think Tommy Fury has the significantly better jab than Jake Paul and better footwork because I think he's just had a more boxing training, like I said, more of a boxing lifestyle than Jake Paul because he did box in the amateur scene too. I think Tommy Fury, and he's had like more boxing experience than Jake Paul. So Tommy does have the better jab and better footwork, whereas I think Jake has significantly higher knockout power because Tommy Fury hasn't really knocked anyone out properly. Like he does have 4 knockouts, Tommy Fury, but they don't stay down. I think all of his opponents got straight back up, and they just got counted out. Whereas Jake Paul's got 2 very, very nasty KOs in his record with Askren and Woodley. So I do think Jake has the more knockout power, and I do think Jake Paul does have the better gas tank. Most of Tommy Fury's fights were only 4-5 rounds. He's never gone a long fight. I think this fight's 10 rounds or 8 rounds. So I think Jake Paul, he's got the better gas tank because a lot of his last fights go the distance. Like he went the distance with Anderson Silva. He had both of his fights with Tyron Woodley went quite long as well. So he does have a good gas tank and good conditioning. And Tommy Fury might get tired after the 4th or 5th round if he's not been working on his conditioning enough. And it is close to call. It's very close to call, this fight, because like I said, we haven't really seen the best of Tommy Fury yet because he's been boxing jobbers. And Jake Paul has looked very good in his fights of Silva and Woodley. So it's like, oof. And part of me is actually rooting for Jake because I just think I'm seeing a lot of arrogance from Tommy Fury and John Fury, but they're not taking Jake seriously at all. And I kind of just want to see Jake win and then see how mouthy they are after Jake wins. So I just want to see. And Tyson Fury, I think if you watch Tyson Fury's interviews, I think deep down he knows this is quite a close fight. Of course, he's going to say Tommy wins, but I think deep down, if you watch Tyson's interview about this fight, he looked a bit nervous, thinking, "Oh shit, I think Jake Paul's got a chance here, and Tommy might get knocked out. Oh god." So what's my prediction for the fight? I do see it going quite a few rounds. I don't think it'll finish. There'll be an early finish. I think if Tommy utilizes his jab and his footwork, he can keep Jake at bay and maybe win on points. Because I think Tommy Fury will knock Jake out because he hasn't really got knockout power. And other thing too, the only time Tommy Fury was actually tested was when he went up against Jordan Grant a few fights ago, who actually had a winning record, and Tommy struggled in that fight because Jordan Grant's actually quite a decent boxer. And I think Jake Paul might be a bit better than Jordan Grant. So, if Tommy struggled against him, I think this could be a tough fight for Tommy Fury. And Jake Paul, if he can land those big rights, because that's what Jake Paul does. He just works in his right hand a lot, doesn't he? Well, his jab isn't the best. He's got the better gas tank and a killer right hand, like you see it against Anderson Silva and Tyron Woodley. So, and Ben Askren. So who do I see winning this fight? Right now, I am going to go with Jake Paul. I think Jake Paul's going to win. I don't think Tommy Fury's that good. I think he's very overrated by his dad overrates him. We haven't seen that much from Tommy Fury unless I've heard people saying Tommy Fury's been deliberately not that good in his last few fights, just to make Jake Paul go into a false sense of security. So then all of a sudden Tommy Fury will absolutely batter him. So we'll see if that's true or not. We'll see. But I think Jake Paul will have too much for him. I think Tommy Fury might take the early few rounds, but then I think when Tommy Fury's gas tank starts to go, Jake will take control, and he might. I think Jake Paul will win via a KO or a TKO in rounds 7 or 8. Yeah. And then it's going to suck for Tommy Fury. It is going to suck for him. But Tommy Fury can win, I think, if he utilises the jab. I do think he's probably got a better boxing IQ than Jake Paul. And like I said, the better jab and better footwork. So either Jake Paul wins via a KO or a TKO, or Tommy Fury wins on points. That's my prediction for the fight. What's your prediction, guys? Who do you see winning, Tommy Fury or Jake Paul? Comment below. To this weekend. Actually, looking forward to it. To be honest, it should be a fun fight. What's your prediction? Comment below, guys. So thank you all for watching, guys, and I'll see you all very soon.